stop. A family shop. Think Thayer. Come on, let's get rolling. Come on, let's get moving. Think Thayer.
Hello, welcome to Falcon Weekly here on BGSUFalcons.com. I'm Evan Pivnik, play-by-play voice of the Bowling Green Falcons. Joined by the head coach of the Bowling Green Falcons, Chris Bergeron. And Coach, it's good to see you again for another year.
Good to see you too.
Oh, thank you very much. And we had a very, very emotional exhibition game. I'm sure a little bit more emotion than you wanted to see out of your side, but still, nonetheless, a game underneath your belt. Just talk about that game and how good it felt to finally be able to play another team.
Well, first of all, I think I'll speak for the players, because for me, I was ready to see what this team would do when somebody pushed back, and our opponent pushed back hard. There's no doubt about that. They came out hitting and made the game physical early. I thought our guys, kind of took it for a little bit, and then we started to give it back. With that being said, the emotion started to build as the game went on, and I'm not sure there's such a thing as too much emotion. I would have liked to see a little more discipline out of our team over the course of the 60 minutes, and then ultimately at the end of the game. Now, with that being said, I did like the fact that our group stuck together, and I think there's always ways to build your 16-17 family, and sticking together in a situation like that, I don't know if there's any better way, because you can't script that. That's what happened. So we'll deal with the consequences. We need to play more discipline. 9 penalties is way too many. That's on us. So lots of good of what happened on Saturday, and then at the end of the day, we got to win. So that's always nice to feel that winning feeling. So I think lots of positives with obviously a few negatives that we need to clean up.
From an evaluation standpoint, how do you look at that game from a 5-on-5 perspective? Because there were a lot of times in that game where it was 4-on-4, even 4-on-3 a few times in the game, maybe even 3-on-3.
From an evaluation perspective, I look at it as limited. We don't get much evaluation at all in terms of our players, and what it ended up doing was taking ice time away from guys that I would have liked to have seen play. So most of our evaluation on Saturday's game is based on special teams. As we break down each game, we talk about scoring chances for and against, but those scoring chances are only at even strength, which there was pretty limited even strength play. So we look at it as our first opportunity to play somebody else, our first opportunity to have to deal with some adversity inside a game structure, and our first opportunity to be judged on a scoreboard versus winning versus losing. So other than that, I'm not sure how much individual evaluation went on, just because of the nature of the game.
Well, we'll talk about group evaluation here. What would you like from the new freshman class?
Well, Evan, unfortunately, the freshman class fell into what I just talked about. I mean, the guys up front, Freddie and Lucas, had played really well up to this point, and they just didn't get a chance to play much that game on Saturday, which is unfortunate. I think Alec Rauhauser probably played the most out of the whole freshman bunch on the back end, and I thought he did a nice job because he plays in the power play. Both he and Jake killed some penalties, and I thought did a decent job with that, as they're still learning this new way to kill penalties, if you will, or our way to kill penalties, if you will. And then Nico Kaufman was kind of in the same boat as Craig's and Letourneau, just didn't play much. So limited observation, and as you know, Meyer and Lincoln Hill didn't dress, didn't play, and neither did Ryan Bednard. So their evaluation continues in practice every day, and the very limited amount of ice they got on Saturday.
Now looking ahead to this weekend, kind of odd to see regular season games coming right off the bat, and especially on the road in one of the longest trips the Falcons have at Bemidji State, a team that the Falcons saw in the playoffs last year. So you got to like that little rivalry that's been brewing up.
Yeah, I know. I do like the rivalry for sure. As you said, it's one of our longer trips. I think anyone that's been to Bemidji, Minnesota, I think if you're planning on time to go there, October 7 and 8 is probably a better time than February or January, like it seems like we've been in the past. So that's one positive. The weather shouldn't be a whole lot of an issue with our travel. Not a bad thing to go on a long trip with a young team, not a young team, but a team that's early in their season, trying to build that team family mentality. So we're hopefully going to take advantage of that. That's just spending time together, and by the nature of the trip, there's going to be lots of time spent together. So it's a rival. They're league games. It's early in the year for both teams. We'll try to use it as a little bit of a team builder. So there's some reality to this league, and it's being spread out is one of the realities, and we had to move this series. The other reality is we've changed a playoff format. So that was, we had to internally move some games from the original 16-17 schedule. So that's how you get to what you get to. And you look around our league, last weekend, Ferris State played Alabama Huntsville, 2 league games on the first and second day officially of hockey season. So we're figuring out this new normal together, and it's not just us and Bemidji playing early. Other teams in our league have already done that.
I know we spoke in the past, and you said Chris Nell is the #1 goaltender going into this year, and he proved that last year and the year before. But you got a chance to see Thomas Scholl a little bit on Saturday. What do you think of his performance, and does that kind of change your thinking a little bit for a #2 perspective for this year?
Well, I think what changed our perspective for #2 was the September Thomas had. I think it's been a little bit of an up and down career to this point. He's coming into his junior year, had arguably his best summer to this point and his best September to this point. So he earned the start on Saturday. I thought he played good. I mean, he won the game. One of the things we'd like to clean up, and I think one of his Achilles heels around here has been a weak goal. And I believe that second goal was a weak goal, one that he'd like to have back, one that he makes in practice. He makes that save in practice every day. So in a 3-1 game, I don't care exhibition or not, at home, going into the third, the game should be over. But to give up a tough goal like that, the first minute of the third period, it puts your team on its heels a little bit, and that's where we expect the senior to make a play right there. And it wasn't just Thomas. There was a bunch of seniors on the ice at that time where I'd like to see a much better job of executing. But specifically where Thomas is concerned, I think that bad goal has been one that he's been fighting to not allow, and it didn't cost him. He played well. He got the win. Lots of good stuff, but as far as an evaluation goes, those are things that we talk about. Is he the #2 solidified based on what's going on in September? I don't want to paint ourselves into that corner. Chris Knowles are #1. We've got 2 capable, skilled goaltenders that are battling for 2, and we'll continue to make evaluations on a daily, weekly basis.
Well, the Falcons take on Bemidji State this weekend at Bemidji State. 8:07 is the time of the start for both nights. Coach, always appreciate the time, and best of luck this weekend.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.